Started out one morning in March back in about the mid 1980s. Kind of chilly morning, but it was calm, like glass on the ocean. We went out to the BR, it's about 32 miles out, and started catching some fish and did very well, catching snapper and grouper and just a variety of fish. Um, Started seeing the weather getting a little bit nasty. The front was supposed to come through, but not that early, and it came in a little bit earlier. So we started heading back. Seas built to about probably went from flat seas to probably 4 to 6. We're in a 19-foot Mako with 85 horse motor on it, which was for that many people in that boat. That was probably a little underpowered. As we started coming back, the seas got rough. The winds were out of the northwest, which we were heading to the west, so we were running into the waves, pounding pretty good. Got in about probably to about 18, 19 miles. Hit a pretty good wave, and it shorted out the electrical system on the boat, shut the motor off. The waves were coming in pretty quick. We tried to get the anchor down to get the bow turned into the waves. I didn't do it in time. It took a wave over the side of the boat. It filled the boat up with water. A lot of our tackle floated out, life jackets floating out, different things, and so we finally did get the anchor rope out. But at that point, we got so much water in the boat that when it would go over a wave and the back of the boat would go down, it would actually go under the water. The boat was pretty much in distress at that point because it got so nasty. A lot of other boats were having issues too. We made a call into the Coast Guard. Coast Guard told us they had no vessels available. By that time, Captain George Strait on the Miss Mayport heard my distress call and asked me where I was at. He punched my number in and he turned and started coming towards me. I could see him from about 4 or 5 miles out, but because we were so low in the water, he couldn't see us. So he told me to light a flare and stand up as high as I could on the boat. I didn't have a T-top, all I had was a center console. I stood up on the console with the flare and waved it. He could see it from time to time. As he approached my vessel, he could tell that it was in pretty rough shape. He instructed the crew member on my boat to go one at a time. Jump over my boat with the life jacket, swim up to him, and he would hoist them into their boat. His boat was about an 85-foot commercial fisherman boat. So as they would get out there, he would lift them in. Well, when he said to go one at a time, it was like a mass exodus. All 4 people on my boat exited the boat, swimming fairly quickly towards the rescue boat, the Miss Mayport. As they got to the boat, the biggest, heaviest one was the first one to reach the boat. They began hoisting them guys up into the boat. I stayed with the ship. Once they were aboard, the captain instructed me to tie a rope off to the bow. I did that. As he tried to pull the boat, there was so much water in it, it ripped the cleat out of the bow. So we had to rig it up a different way, and he told me, he said, if this doesn't work, we're just going to have to let the boat go and take you back. Fortunately, it did work. We got the boat going. Once we got it going, the boat naturally drained the water out through the drain plugs, and the bilge was able to catch up and get everything from below deck. Fortunately, we saved all our fish and all our rod and reels, but most of our tackle boxes and some of the hatches that were on the boat that weren't hinged floated away. All our life jackets floated away. The Coast Guard met us about 10 miles offshore and did a boat inspection and questioned us about the life jackets. With the exception of the ones we wore, everything else was washed away. And we made it back in, but we learned a big lesson that day, and that was to, one, you don't overload your boat for 5 people with an 85 horse motor and go 30-something miles out, and don't play with those fronts, because if they say it'll be an hour or 2 hours or 12 hours coming in, that can speed up or slow down. It's just not something to play with.